Okay, we're back at the Udvar-Hazy Air and Space Museum, where they keep all the big aircraft that they can't display in the smaller museum in Washington, D.C. See that plane right there? That big silver one? That's the Enola Gay. That's what we came here to see. It's an SR-71 Blackbird. This is an SR-71 Blackbird. It goes supersonic, top speed of about 2,000 miles per hour. It can go from New York to LA in less than an hour, if it wants. See that? That is the SR-71, baby. Let's do a beautiful pan around the SR-71. Here's the cockpit of the SR-71. Here's the starboard engine here. Big, powerful, turbine engine. Ramjet. Let's go here to where these are the World War II planes over here. There's a Black Widow. It's like a modified P-38. There's a Japanese Zero over there. See that Japanese Zero? Yeah. It's like a modified P-38, P-61 it's called. I'm going to tell you more about the Enola Gay once we get to the front.
What?
There's a P-38 right there. Here's an ME-109. No, that's a Spitfire. It's a Spitfire. It's the plane that fought in the Battle of Britain. Yeah. And actually, that's a Hurricane. This is a P-38 Lightning. Look at that. I used to have a little plastic model of this when I was a kid. And there, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, wait a minute, let's pass by this exhibit here. And there, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, that is the Enola Gay right there. That is the Enola Gay. That is the Enola Gay there, right there.
That's the same thing.
No name on this side though.
One of the things I think is cool feature on this, since I was in the Air Force, I worked on the F-15 fighter jet.
This is a P-47 Thunderbolt. What they call the flying jug, because it kind of looked like a big jug. Look at that. Here are the big 50 caliber guns here on the wing. Here's the number 4 engine of the Enola Gay. Here's a Japanese Zero. Look at that. That's a Japanese Zero.
Can't see it very well because of where we are, but let me show you what it looks like up close. Little metal ring inside the middle of that. It's more like convoy than you think. Behind
This is a Japanese Zero that served in the Pacific during World War II. Now, it had advantages over our aircraft. The Zero was a lot lighter, a lot faster, a lot more maneuverable than our aircraft. But our aircraft had a lot more armor and had a lot more firepower. This is some of the more modern aircraft. Here we go. That's a MiG. That's an F-4 Phantom, and that's an intruder. We got a stealth fighter over there. Let me pan around and see, show you what's going on around here. Here's a side shot of the space shuttle, Discovery. There's a lunar capsule down there. Look at that old lunar capsule. Look at that. I wonder if that's been to the moon or something. Anyway, here's the space shuttle here. We'll pan around. Let me show you where they do all the restoration work down here. Yeah, look at this place. This is where they do all the restoration work and the repairs, and looks like they're restoring, is that a B-25? I think that's a B-25 they're restoring there. B-25 called Flatbait, as you can see with all the drawings of the bombs on the side. It's been on a lot of missions. There's an intruder in the background. They're renovating that. All right, nice, huh? That's the renovation. Okay, we're passing what looks to be like a gallery of some sort. We got paintings and photos on the wall here on the left side, and on the right side we have the restoration area where they restore all the planes. All the historic planes that they need to restore is right over there. Okay, there's the cockpit of the Enola Gay. Over here on the left side is the co-pilot, and on the right side is the pilot, and sitting right on the nose is the bombardier. I think, can you see the bomb sight? That bomb sight is called the Norden bomb sight. It was developed during World War II, and it was a pretty top secret technology back in the day. The Germans really wanted to have one, but they never could, I don't think. Anyway, here's the Enola Gay, ladies and gentlemen. Another view of the cockpit from up front. There you go, that's the co-pilot, pilot, bombardier right over here. Norden bomb sight. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the B-29 Superfortress, known as the Enola Gay, the legendary Enola Gay. On August 6, 1945, this plane, piloted by Colonel Paul W. Tibbets, dropped the first atomic bomb over Hiroshima in Japan, thus ending one of the greatest conflicts in humankind, World War II. Its pilot, as I mentioned, was Colonel Paul W. Tibbets, a great hero and a great man who, when he first saw the mushroom cloud forming over the city after he had dropped the bomb, the first words out of his mouth were, "My God, what have I done?" But he didn't worry. What he did was preserve freedom and preserve humanity, humankind, and make sure the future is secure for all humankind. So, to Colonel Paul W. Tibbets, I say, you are a great hero, and thank you for your service, sir. I salute you. This is the nose section. Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna go soon. This is the nose section of a Grumman Hellcat, used in the Pacific in World War II. Here are the World War I planes. See, that's a Fokker, German aircraft. That looks like Eddie Rickenbacker's plane up there. And this is let's see who this is. Who's this? Oh, this is Billy Mitchell. Colonel Mitchell. He founded the Army Air Corps, which is now the Air Force. All right, now let's go to the space shuttle over here. This is like the center area, like the main area of the place. And over here is the SR-71. It just focuses on my face, unfortunately, and I don't know how to turn it off. Anyway, let's go to the space shuttle over here. Let me show you the Space Shuttle Discovery. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Space Shuttle Discovery in all its glory. Here's a spacesuit. Look at that spacesuit over here. Look at that spacesuit. It's a pretty cool spacesuit, huh? Anyway, here's the Discovery, Space Shuttle Discovery, honey, baby honey. Let's do a 360 pan around the Space Shuttle Discovery. There's the cockpit. There's some retro rockets. Look at that giant landing gear. Look at the thermal tiles. See the thermal tiles? Look at the tiles. Look at that. Let me give you a detail of the tiles. Look at that. Each tile is individually numbered. Each tile is custom made to fit in just that one space. See that? The thermal tiles that goes all the way under the bottom of the ship, and the sides and the bottom of the wings. See, when it goes back into Earth, it doesn't go nose first. It has to turn around and goes in kind of backwards like this. That's why most tiles are back here. See all these thermal tiles here? See all the tiles? Here at the bottom of the wing, starboard wing. Here are the big engines. Look at that. Is that Discovery in action? Look at that. Anyway, let's look at the aft end of the ship. See that? These are the big engines up here. This is the aft end of the space shuttle here. See that? That's pretty big. Let's go continue our 360 pan around the ship. See how it's sloped back here in the back like that? That's because it comes in ass end first. When it makes its re-entry. Here's a model of the Columbia. Here are some designer concept models. Look at that. When they were designing the space shuttle. Here's is this Neil Armstrong's spacesuit? Yeah, has his name on it. Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. Here's the port side. This is the port side of the ship. There's the escape hatch right there. That's the escape hatch.
Three-stage rocket and all kinds of modules at the top, command module.
There's some retro rockets back here. That's the retro rocket, see? When they needed to change direction, they would shoot out from there, and then it would change direction wherever the rockets go. We got more thermal tiles over here.
Well, after the moon landing, we said, what's next in space?
All right, that's the space shuttle behind me. See that? Yeah, just keep going to see my face. Anyway, as we keep moving forward, maybe you'll see the space shuttle better. There you go. That's the space shuttle back there. Here is a MiG that was mainly flown by the Russians, but also flown by their allies. This is a MiG-21 fishbed. I think I had a model of this when I was a kid that I put together. MiG-21 fishbed. Here's an F-4 Phantom. F-4 Phantom is used extensively in Vietnam. Here is another MiG. What kind of MiG? It flew in Korea. Yeah, and this is a Sabre. This is an American Sabre. F-86 Sabre, like that. See that? That's an F-86 Sabre. Here's an A6 Intruder. See that? That is an A6 Intruder. If you saw the movie Flight of the Intruder, that's what they flew, an Intruder. And here is is also a Corsair, just like the one back there, but this is a later model of a Corsair. No, that's not a Corsair. That's a RF-8 Crusader. See that? That's the Crusader. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the legendary F-14 Tomcat. Do you feel the need for speed? See, that's an F-14.
To help it take off.
That's an F-14 Tomcat. The legendary F-14. Look at that. Let's see who the pilots are here. F-14. See, the pilot was Lieutenant Commander John Suazo, call sign Rico. And the Rio radar intercept officer was Lieutenant Pete Rowell, call sign Thumper. Rico and Thumper. Ghost Rider, this is Rico, 3/4 of a mile calling the ball. Roger, Rico, 3/4 of a mile, call the ball. There's a Sidewinder. Sidewinder air-to-air missile. It's still extensively used today. This is what is commonly used by fighter aircraft, modern fighter aircraft, to shoot down other fighter aircraft. Look at this. Here's a flight jacket. I own something like that. It's a nice flight jacket. Here's the tail end of the F-14. The squadron number is VF-31. Stationed aboard somewhere. The USS Abraham Lincoln is where it was stationed. Here's the front end of the Crusader. Here's an F-35 stealth fighter. It's an F-35 stealth fighter. One of the more modern aircraft in the arsenal right there. This is an F-100 Super Sabre. This was also used extensively in the Vietnam War. The pilot was Major Harve Stewart. F-100 Super Sabre. Now the F-100 Super Sabre could also be carrier-based or land-based. Could do either. See, the intake's right up front, just like the F-86 over there. And now we're going back in time, back to World War II. This is a what is this? Oh, it's a hell diver. Yeah, wow. Yeah, this was used by the Navy in the Pacific in World War II. It's a hell diver. Also carrier-based. The wings can fold up so it will fit on a carrier. This is an albatross. This is kind of in bad condition though. Look at the wings. It's all beat up. See that? Oh, wow. That's amazing. This is a CH-46E Sea Knight. It's used by the United States Marine Corps in Vietnam. This is another legendary aircraft, the Iroquois, the Bell UH-1 Iroquois. But in Vietnam, it was known mainly as a Huey, nicknamed the Huey. Look at that. This was used extensively in Vietnam. The sound that the rotor makes is very familiar to troops during that time. The sound that the rotor made meant salvation. They were going to be picked up and rescued or reinforced. This is an AH-1 Cobra attack helicopter, also used in Vietnam. You see, there's only room here for two people, pilot and the co-pilot. This was mainly used for attack. It was not used to ferry equipment or troops. It was used mainly for attack. Bell UH-1 Cobra. Here's a SA-2 guide-line missile, surface-to-air missile used to shoot down enemy aircraft. Mainly used by the Soviet Union and their allies. This is a F-105 Thunder Chief. It's a Thunder Chief. There you go. Look at these bombs strapped on here. What are those, 1,000-pound bombs? Those are bombs. Those are not missiles. Those are just dumb bombs. They just drop them and then it explodes. Okay, well, here's another shot of the Corsair. This is another legendary aircraft, F-4, it's Corsair. Most notably used by VF-214 of the Marine Corps during World War II, the famous Black Sheep Squadron, led by Colonel Pappy Boyington. If you ever saw the TV show Baba Black Sheep or Black Sheep Squadron in the 70s, you'd know this plane. This is a Concorde. One of the fastest passenger planes ever built, a Concorde. So when a Concorde went supersonic, it would let out a sonic boom that everyone could hear on the ground, and going supersonic meant it could go at least 2,000 miles an hour. It used to go from New York to Tokyo in less than an hour, I think. But they retired it a few years ago. Now nobody uses it anymore. It's just here on display in museums like this. Only 3 airlines. I think only 3 airlines had the Concorde: Air France and British Airways, and some American airline had it too. I forgot which one. And Air France had it, and British Airways had it, and I think Pan Am had it. See, that's the Concorde. Supersonic flight. See, there's the Concorde again. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Oh, this is a pilot of one of the Night Stalkers. The Night Stalkers were the best helicopter pilots in the world. They could land anywhere. They could land on a cliff. They could land in the desert. They could land in the ocean. Plus, they could fight too. That's why this guy has an M4 or an AR-15. Got the night vision on his helmet. Nice. I like it. I salute you, sir.
It's just run.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Enola Gay. It's not a replica. It's not a movie Hollywood prop. It's the actual Enola Gay. It's the real plane that dropped the atomic bomb over Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, ending the war.
Yes.